In this video, I am going to be showing you how to make your own hover jig for fishing. Basically, it's a jig head that doesn't have a jig head. So this would be like a normal jig head you'd have. So you have your lead on the outside, hooked through a swim bait, and pretty much swims like this. Whereas here's a new style coming out. It's the hover jig, and basically it's taking this swim bait here, and instead of having the jig head on the outside like this, it's simply going to slide in like such to where all the weight is on the inside and it swims better in the water. So it'll basically be looking like that, to where all your weight is inside the swim bait and not on the front like this. So it more hovers, floats down like this or sinks down like this with natural swimming action, rather than with the jig head, it's always going to want to go head first. So this is more of a natural look, supposedly. So again, I'm going to show you how to make your own with these Do-IT molds. This is a Do-IT Hover Jig. It has 16th ounce, 3/32 ounce, 8th ounce, 5/32, 3/16 1/4 ounce. For the sake of this project and what I'm using this for, these are actually going to be going on my Alabama rigs for fishing. So you see here, let's open it up, look at the inside. Just got this jig, or this mold, so I'm going to be using this 8th ounce and this 1/4 ounce slot. Okay, and I have this Lee 10-pound lead melting pot, so you're going to want to have one of these, a spoon to scrape out all the impurities, and then obviously you're going to need some jig head hooks. I get mine from Barlow's Tackle online. And then you're going to need the mold, of course, which you can also get from Barlow's. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get this plugged in, and then come back in about 20-25 minutes when this lead is hot enough to pour in and make these new hover jigs. Stand by. Alright, so the lead is now melted, and as we all know, lead is very poisonous, especially if ingested. So for the health and safety of myself, I'm going to be putting on a respirator here to keep the fumes away from me, but I also have a fan over there to keep ventilation going through. So from here until I'm done pouring the actual jig heads, I'm going to wear that respirator, and you'll be seeing commentary down below in the video. When I'm done pouring the jig heads, I will go ahead and take the respirator off after this has hardened back up, and I'll finish off the video that way. Alright, went ahead and moved the hardened lead pot out of the way so we could just work with these here. But now for the fun part. So as you saw, when I cut that extra piece of lead off, it has this little burr thing right here. So all I do is take a file and file that piece down just enough to where it's flush with the rest of it, just to keep the same shape. Right, so that's good. Usually I fine tune with this, but I'm not even gonna need to do that with these. I do wear gloves, so that way this lead powder does not get in my fingers. But yeah, shouldn't be filing over this. But for the first, first use of this mold, this hover jig mold, they look pretty stinking good, I think. No major problems. Had the one problem with the with this hook not fitting perfectly into this 1/8 ounce, but that's because this is a little larger jig hook than they recommend in here. Actually, it was this one of these 1/8 ounce. So what I can do is I can just you can kind of drill this out just a little bit if you need to put bigger jig head eyes in there. But for what I'm looking for and needing it for, it worked just fine. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get all of these sanded down. Again, not a lot of work. I don't know, that worked pretty well. As soon as I get done with this one here, we'll take a look and see how close it is to the image here. It looks pretty good. There's a little bit of over pour that I can see right here, and all I have to do there, take my pair of pliers and just kind of peel that off a little bit. Don't need that. Now supposedly, again, this is a 1/4 ounce, and this is 1/4 ounce and 1/8 ounce. So I'm gonna go get the scale and just see how close we are to 1/4 and 1/8. Be right back. All right, I know it's a little bit dark because the glare from this light was shining right onto this and putting a big glare on that. So I'm gonna try to use it without light and see if this works. But this is just a simple digital scale. Okay, this is at grams. Oops, unit. Grams, pound to ounce, kilogram, ounce. All right, so this is the 1/4 ounce first. What's that say? About 2.8. 1/4 ounce, I'll take that. All right, let's try the 1/8. 1/8 ounce, put that in the center. 0.1418, that's about right. So we're good there, 1/8 ounce, 1/4 ounce. That'll work out all right. All right, let's see how these work in the actual swim baits. Turn this light back on here. Where'd it go? There it is. But yeah, I mean, it looks right, yeah. I think so. It's a 1/4 ounce, 1/8 ounce, looks good. So with these hover rigs, the trick is, so you have to go down. So you normally, if you look at a normal jig head, you slide it right through the top. Let me take this off. You slide it straight through the top and out through here, so your jig head's up here with the weight. But with these, you go, instead of going up through the top here, you go down, right, and then you're gonna push that through, and you're gonna pull the tip and pop this tip into the side, or inside that cavity. So again, the only thing that's gonna be left is that eye out, which is supposed to look, again, something like that. So you gotta mark where that hook needs to come out. So if I count the ribs on here, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the hook needs to come out somewhere around the 4th or 5th rib here. So let's give this a shot. So again, you don't want this to point out or poke out there. So you want to have it go right in. So one rib, 2 rib, 3 rib. So you want this eye coming out about the 3rd rib here, and this is a 3-inch swim bait. So again, I'll take this, put it through right there. Again, guide this down to about that 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about right there. Push this all the way in. Keep going. And then should push this straight through the top there. Alright, well, a little messy for the first shot, I think. Gotta have more. See how the 1/8 ounce does. Might be a little better option here. Alright, again, down through the 3rd rib. Maybe I just need to go down farther. So go down, pull that out the 5th rib, go right there, push this guy down in. Pop this top. This isn't easy. I'll tell you that right now. Alright. There you go. It's kind of like one of those tube baits where you have to pull the eye through the top of it. Huh, okay. But there it is. So you got your jig head, standard jig head, and you got your hover rig head. 1/4 ounce. 1/8 ounce. But there it is. That's how to pour a hover rig jig, hover rig, I guess, jig head on your own. That's a Do-It mold. Got it from Barlow's Tackle, or you can get it from Do-It directly. Same with the hooks. The hooks come from Barlow's. But yeah, there you go. How to make a hover rig, or I'm sorry, a hover jig head DIY. Thanks for watching. Take care.